Last week in the Alex Jones trial, the Sandy Hook families that are suing Alex Jones for defamation called him to the witness stand during their case in chief. And normally you do not do this with an opposing party witness. However, when the opposing party witness is the opposing party themselves, your lawyer is able to treat them like a hostile witness and effectively run your direct examination like a cross-examination. That means that lawyer gets to ask Alex Jones leading questions, yes or no questions, rather than open-ended ones, and kind of tell the story that he wants to tell, rather than letting Alex Jones craft the narrative. This is the reason they called him during their case in chief. They had a narrative that they wanted in front of the jury before Alex Jones's lawyer got to do it. After that, Alex Jones would normally be able to testify on his own behalf, but his attorney would be allowed to come up and do a cross-examination in the traditional way, which would normally give kind of a tactical advantage because it would allow Alex Jones's attorney to ask Alex those leading questions. On Alex Jones's case in chief, his attorney would have to ask those open-ended questions and let Alex Jones do all of the legwork on telling the story. Having the advantage of having a cross-examination and being allowed to direct your client on how to tell the story that you want to tell for your strategy is normally a big advantage for an attorney in any case. So why didn't they do it? Why did Alex Jones's attorney not call Alex to the stand for cross-examination? And why was that absolutely the right move in this case? Let's talk about it. You guys probably know me. I'm Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And right now I'm taking advantage of the last few days of very good weather that we have here in this lovely fall. But that being said, we're here not to talk about weather, but Alex Jones. We're here to talk about the Alex Jones defamation trial up in Connecticut. He has already lost his defamation trial down in Texas, and the jury has come up with an award for him to pay there. The same thing is actually happening in Connecticut. His trial here is only about damages. The judge actually defaulted him out of the ruling, and so he has already technically lost on the defamation charges, even though it hasn't really been heard on the merits. I have lots of problems with this because, as despicable as some of the comments may have been, or distasteful, or whatever, I am a strong proponent of free speech, and I'm not quite sure that the adequate level of care has been given to figure out if these were actually defamatory under the law. But right now we have a ruling on this, and those are arguments that will come during appeal. So what's left to do now is the penalty phase. How much does Alex Jones have to pay these families? And if you've been following along with the trial, I think you may notice a little bit of bias from the judge. Just a teensy bit. It kind of seems like almost all of the rulings are kind of going against Alex Jones, and the way she is treating him and his attorney in court aren't really what I would consider that sort of neutral impartiality that we expect from our judges. But hey, who am I? Just a humble guy on YouTube offering an opinion of a terrible job being done in court on what I consider to be a really, really important issue. And this is what feeds into what I'm about to say. The question is, why didn't Alex Jones take the stand to defend himself on cross-examination from what had just happened by the plaintiff's counsel, especially when it would give his attorney a big advantage to be able to tell the story through those leading questions? And the ultimate answer comes down to what the judge said. What the judge said at the end of the day following Alex Jones's direct testimony. There was some dispute over just how ridiculous it was that the judge was not in control of the courtroom that day, that the judge was allowing the plaintiff's counsel to very improperly, in my opinion, and I believe in Alex Jones's lawyer's opinion, ask questions and kind of badger and bully Alex Jones on the stand. The judge was not ruling on objections. The judge was allowing Alex Jones to answer and continue to speak after an objection had been leveled by his counsel. And she was not, frankly, protecting the neutrality of the proceedings in the way that should go in a courtroom. That's just honest. And so during the back and forth that followed, the judge said something extremely, extremely ominous and also completely unfair. And I'm sure this comment will be added directly to the record on appeal and be a major part of the appeal brief. But she said, okay, if you don't like the way I ran the courtroom today, then tomorrow on his cross-examination, I'm going to have a zero tolerance policy. That means if anybody gets out of line at all, there will be actionable things happening. Contempt of court or sanctions applied to either counsel or the defendant. Now, of course, when you read between the lines of what happened, that is, today, I let plaintiff's counsel get away with everything. Tomorrow, while the defense counsel will be the main star of the show, generating most of the words and most of the attention, that's when I'm suddenly going to take a zero tolerance approach and be on a hair trigger for sanctions and disciplinary action. That is absolutely unreasonable. It is unreasonable to have an inconsistent standard between two parties on the same issue and even the same witness. And to have it as a reaction to the party who's about to speak being properly critical of the improper actions of the other attorney and to say, okay, fine, you didn't like how I treated him, I'm going to treat you in the way you wish I treated him, but I won't treat him that way. That is insane. And anyone can watch this going on in the courtroom. Again, it doesn't matter if you like Alex Jones or dislike him. As a disclaimer, I'm neutral on him as a news source or anything like that. I have never once watched a full episode of InfoWars. I've barely seen clips from it. I don't subscribe to Alex Jones on any platforms that I can think of or anything like that. But that said, I don't think he needs to be removed from the internet or censored, and I do have questions about just how quote-unquote defamatory the statements that he made or he is responsible for may be. I think those are fact issues for a jury, and I don't think that got to happen in this case. When a case directly involves speech, I think we really need to be getting fact finder input on it, and in this one, we just don't have it. So with that said, when you have a client or, a defendant, I guess, like Alex Jones, someone who is despised by a large portion of people for having shocking claims or perhaps unpalatable speech, I think that is a time when the protection of speech needs to be at its maximum. And the process and procedures that go along with that process need to be followed the best they possibly can be, because it's really easy to allow negative sentiments and something akin to mob rule take over the impartiality of a courtroom. And when that happens, we move away from justice and into tyranny, either the tyranny of the state or the tyranny of the majority or the tyranny of popularity. Any of those things are unjust to the rights of the individual. And individual rights and liberty are where our country was built, and I believe are the best system of governance on earth, as long as it is focused on those things. And today, it kind of feels like that is slipping away. I don't know about you guys. That's just the impression that I get. But that's why Alex Jones is, in my opinion, my guess, not taking the stand for cross-examination, and he will be called instead during his own case in chief, and he will be answering open-ended questions. The final bit of that to consider is that Alex Jones is a storyteller, speaker, and entertainer. He will probably not have too much trouble getting up on the stand and telling the story that he wants to tell or that his attorney thinks is best. I don't think he needs the hand-holding from his attorney the way some other witnesses might that would really benefit from cross-examination. So all in all, this is an abnormal strategic move, but when you have an abnormal client like Alex Jones, it might just make sense. And I think in this case, it very much does. If you find this video informative, check out all of my other ones. Make sure you like, subscribe, click all the stupid stuff. You know what to do. Thanks for hanging out and watching. Drop some comments. Let me know if I'm an idiot and I'm thinking about this the entirely wrong way. But I don't think I am on this one. Also, as I'm able to, I'll be live streaming Alex Jones coverage when it resumes. As of the recording of this video, it resumes tomorrow, which would be Tuesday. So the last Tuesday in September, the 26th, 27th, I don't know, something like that. What are dates? I don't even know. Until next time, guys, peace. Peace.